So Buell is back. Yes! Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to Roads of Oz. My name is Matt, and this episode is about the possible return of Buell. Now, a little while ago, I released a video saying why Harley should bring back Buell, and it was pretty much to lump those models that weren't true Harley Davidsons, put them under the Buell moniker and distribute them as Buells. That way Harley's still getting revenue, they're keeping their exclusivity, which is what they're all after, and they're still making use of the bikes they actually developed. That video got some very good responses and also some negative ones saying, look, Eric Buell's not running Buell, so it can't truly be a Buell. I tried to respond to all my comments, and a recent one came from a viewer called Norseman, and he goes, so FHD, now they don't even own the right to the name Buell anymore, and thank God for that. So when I get comments like that, I tend to look into them and find out what they're talking about. And I was pleasantly surprised that there was on the February the 20th, bikesales.com.au actually have a headline, Buell returns with new models after 11-year hiatus. And it goes on to talk about how the iconic brand name's returning with new models planned. It talks about how there's some existing models. They've still got several models in production from Eric Buell Racing. Now, Eric Buell, EBR, is separate from Buell Motorcycles. Harley owned the name Buell Motorcycles, and they shut it down back in 2008, 2009, somewhere around there. And they owned the name. But sadly, EBR, under Eric Buell, went into receivership in 2015. Eric Buell's involvement apparently ended in 2016 with EBR, but it was still the name was still held onto by Liquid Assets partners until they could find a suitable buyer. Now, they don't go in the article. They don't go into who actually bought EBR, but they go on to say EBR purchased the rights to the Buell brand in 2020. But it's unclear if Liquid Asset Partners is still in charge, and Eric Buell has stated that he has no involvement with the reborn Buell brand. So that leaves it open to a lot of questions. Yes, they've still got the EBR bike. They've got a Super Touring 1190 Super Touring adventure bike that is going to pique a bit of interest. Now, my point. Just need to do one thing before I actually give my thoughts. All right, so here's my theory. When Jochen Seitz took over Harley Davidson, they ditched a lot of the R&D. Now, there was a lot of money gone into that research and development to develop these electric bikes, and bikes like the Bronx, and there was all these other bikes due to Matt Levitich's all roads to Harley business model. Now, what do you do with that research and development? If you try to make it brand exclusive, farm it out somewhere else, and I reckon that's what they're going to be doing with Buell. There's very little information on the actual ownership of Buell. It'll be interesting to see who actually owns it. And they say they've got up to 10 models coming out by 2024. So my guess is they'll be coming out before that, and a lot of them are going to be, my guess is they're going to be motorcycles that Harley aren't planning on releasing, but need to get some return on their investment. And that's exactly what you see here with this 1190 Adventure Tourer. If it fails as a Harley, as the Pan America, guaranteed it's going to come out redesigned as a Buell. Don't be surprised if a version like the Bronx shows up as a Buell, and all these other designs, especially in the electric market. Harley made a splash with the live wire, but my guess is it's just going to disappear into the night, and all of a sudden you're going to find these Buell motorcycles with all this electric motor range, and they're talking about performance motors. Pretty much what the track Harley was going down with Matt Levitich. Anyway, that's all I've got to say on it. Thought I'd share it because I find this very interesting that all of a sudden Buell's coming back and Harley was happy to let the name go after all these years. If they were interested in selling off that name, you think they would have done it a long time ago. My guess is Jochen Seitz has come in and looked and gone, what are we going to do with this Buell name? What are we going to do with all this excess research and development that no longer fit our business model? How about we farm it out somewhere else? Make it look like Buell's totally separate from us, and let's see if that's the case. If they sell in Harley dealerships, that's going to be very interesting, or more interesting if they sell them in the dealerships that Harley's no longer supplying to. because there's been a lot of dealerships in the States that are closed down. Not so much here in Australia because we don't have that bigger dealer network, but definitely you hear all these tales of woe in the States. So my guess is Buell's coming back. They're going to have a lot of research and development from Harley. It's going to make its way over there mysteriously, be rebranded, resold as Buell, and that's exactly the business model I was saying it was going to be earlier, and I think it's a great idea. Why waste all that research and development? If it fails as Buell, not Harley, and if it succeeds, that's still money coming into Harley's coffers some way or another. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. If you found the video interesting, or if you think I'm hitting the nail on the head or pretty close, tap that like button, subscribe, and more importantly, share this video, especially with the stupid looking tinfoil hat on. These are just my opinions, but it makes sense to me. No business is going to waste millions upon millions of dollars in research and development without trying to get some return on investment. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next vid.